ليس لأوليته ابتداء ولا لأزليته انقضاء، وانحسرت الأوصاف عن كنه معرفتي، ورضعت عظمته العقول، والذي لا تواري عنه سماء سماء ولا أرض أرضا. ثم الصلاة والسلام والتحية والإكرام على سيد البطحاء، سيد المرسلين والأنبياء، أبي القاسم محمد المصطفى، وعلى الجوهرة القدسية البتول العذراء سيدة النساء فاطمة الزهراء، وعلى بعلها أمير المؤمنين وبنيها الذين أذهب الله عنهم الرجس وطهرهم تطهيرا. لا سيما على بقية الله وحجته الكبرى، الذي بيمنه رزق الورى وبوجوده ثبتت الأرض والسماء، ولولاه لساخت الأرض بأهلها، واللعنة الدائمة على أعدائهم أجمعين من حين عداوتهم إلى قيام يوم الدين. أما بعد، فقد قال الله تبارك وتعالى في كتابه الكريم: كنتم خير أمة أخرجت للناس تأمرون بالمعروف وتنهون عن المنكر. صلوات. I was talking about the concept of Amr bil Ma'ruf and Nahi anil Munkar, bidding the good and forbidding the bad, and we'll continue uh, the remainder of the subject. And I already talked about the definition of Ma'ruf and Munkar. And Ma'ruf is defined as something which ma ya'rifuhu al-aql wa shar, something that the human intellect, unimpaired intellect, and the Sharia consider to be, they recognize it as a good act. And munkar is something that the aql, the unimpaired intellect of a human, not the impaired intellect, the unimpaired intellect of a human being and the Sharia both detest it. And we already believe that kullama hakama bihi shar, kullama hakama bihi shar, hakama bihi al-aql. That's our one of the qawaid al-fiqhiyya, one of our laws in the fiqh, that وَكُلَّمَا حَكَمَ بِهِ الشَّرْعُ حَكَمَ بِهِ الْعَقْلُ. The opposite is also there. So everything that the Sharia dictates, the aql says the same thing, and whatever the unimpaired intellect dictates, the Sharia will always say the same thing. So I talked about the introduction to that. Now, the conversation was almost close to this place where I mentioned to you that uh, Amr al Maruf and Nahi al Munkar are the fundamental. So these are the fundamental duties of Islam, which are more important than prayers and fasting and Hajj, because despite the fact prayers are the pillars of the religion, but it's because of the Amr bil Ma'ruf and Nahi al Munkar, bidding the good and forbidding the bad, that prayers are installed in the society, fastings, and all the rest of the Islamic rulings and values are established because of Amr bil Ma'ruf and Nahi anil Munkar. So if we stop uh, doing the Amr towards what is good and stop doing the Nahi, the negative command towards what is bad, the whole Sharia would collapse. And Imam Ali has said in the Hadith, Qiwam sharia al-amru bil ma'ruf wa nahi anil munkar. The survival of Sharia is through is Amr bil ma'ruf and nahi anil munkar, wa iqamat al-hudud, and installing the punishments. So uh, now uh, Allah has said, this is narrated uh, in Tahzib al-Ahkam that Imam al-Sadiq alayhi salam says إنه قال لقوم من أصحابه حق لي أن آخذ البريء منكم بالسقيم. It's a right. It's rightful for me to you know to take or to punish or to hold accountable someone who is free of any charge, along with those who are charged, accused. So, in other words, so this is where وكيف لا يحق لي ذلك وأنتم يبلغكم عن الرجل منكم القبيح ولا تنكرون عليه. So how would this not be justifiable? Because you people hear the bad, the detested, the indecent things happening done by somebody, but you know, لا تنكرون عليه, you don't do nahy anil munkar, you don't stop the person from those wrongs. ولا تهجرونه ولا تؤذونه حتى يتركه, nor do you abandon that person. So one person comes uh, to the holy prophet and said, uh, you know, um, uh, uh, that um, we are ready to do the Amr bil Maruf and Nahy anil Munkar, but in some cases there are people who don't listen to us. Let me uh, mention to you this narration where uh, um, in the narration we learn that this person comes and said that, well, I'm ready to do nahy anil munkar, or amr bil ma'ruf to the person, uh, so but what if they don't listen to me? And the prophet said, if they don't listen to you, then hajar means uh, you distance yourself, you separate yourself, you abandon interaction with that person. So that's the next step. If there is a possibility somebody doesn't listen to us, but then we are not supposed to have continued uh, interaction if a person is wishfully, willingly, intentionally continuing the haram in his life. Now, in the case of Amr and Nahi, we have certain shara'it and conditions which are mentioned. And now the first condition that I would like to mention today is first condition is about the fact that before we start Amr and Nahi, we need to know about what is ma'ruf and what is munkar. So, لا يأمر بالمعروف ولا ينهى عن المنكر إلا من كان عالما بالمعروف وعالما لما ينهى. So somebody who wants to do Amr and Nahi, the first shart and condition, you need to know what is ma'ruf in the eyes of Allah and what is munkar in the eyes of Allah. We don't want to end up asking people to do something which is munkar, God forbid, or stopping people from something which is ma'ruf. So many a times you find, and we have things going on in our culture, traditions, and we, the humans, uh, sometimes mix the religion with the culture, and we end up thinking that this is part of Islam because this has been happening for so long in the society. So we continue asking in our families and our friends, we continue asking people to do that, although that's not Islamic. So, so this is happening. So the first thing is al ilm bikawniha ma'rufan wa munkaran. Condition number one, you need to know whether this thing is ma'ruf in the eyes of Allah and this is munkar in the eyes of Allah. So you don't make a mistake in asking people to do a munkar or stopping people from doing a ma'ruf. The second condition is that uh, excuse me, that you should have this ihtimal of ta'seer. You need to have a probability that your amr and nahi is going to be effective. If you know your advice is, it's not advice, that's a wrong, it's not, it's amr. And scholars have clarified the point. It's basically commanding the person and joining the good and forbidding the bad. So it's not requesting the person. It's not about, yes, we are respectful in our talk. We are not disrespecting anyone. That's true. But it's not requesting a person to do something, it's commanding the person to do that, not to do that. This amr means a command, nahi is a negative command. So the second thing is you need to have ihtimal of ta'seer, probability that when you would say that to somebody is going to be effective. If you have no chance, no probability in your mind, the person is not going to listen at all. In that case, it's not wajib to do amr bil maruf and nahi anil munkar. If you don't even have 1% chance of the person listening, it's not wajib. So the third thing is tamakkun and qudrat, means a person has the power to do that. If you don't have the power, you will end up receiving harm, and you will end up suffering it because you have no power, no authority, no qudrat, no tamakkun. So in that case, you end up receiving the harm and darar instead of removing that wrong from the society. So obviously, it's not wajib in that case, except in exceptional cases. In exceptional cases, this shart has been removed, like insult of the Masumin alayhim salam, for example. In that case, this shart does not apply in that case. So these are the three conditions which are supposed to be fulfilled. Ilm bil ma'ruf and ilm bil munkar. You need to know what is ma'ruf and what is munkar in the eyes of Allah. Number two is about ihtimal al-ta'seer. You have this ihtimal and probability that your word is going to be effective. Number three, you're not going to receive any harm, except in the exceptional cases where this third condition is lifted away. So let's go to the now we have these are shurut shara'atul wujub. So mm, uh, uh, so so these are the shara'atul wujub. Now um, uh, there is you know, these are shara'atul wajib, not shara'atul wujub. There's a difference in our fiqh between sharatul wajib and sharatul wujub. These are shara'atul wajib. Walaikum assalam. Not shara'atul wujub. First, let me correct that. So, so these are the shara'it for the wajib. So now, then we have shara'atul kamal. We have certain conditions in our fiqh which are called shara'atul kamal. That means conditions for the perfection of the act. You want your act to be perfect in the eyes of Allah, kamil in the eyes of Allah, then you have to fulfill another set of conditions about that. And then your act is taken to be kamil and perfect in the eyes of Allah. What are shara'itul kamal? So, okay, let's go to the shara'itul kamal. So, look at this hadith. So, there is a hadith from Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wasallam. Bihar, volume 100. Prophet says, لا يأمر بالمعروف ولا ينهى عن المنكر إلا من كان فيه ثلاث خصال. ثلاث ثلاث خصال. So no one can should do amr bil ma'ruf and nahy anil munkar except the one who has three attributes. رفيق بما يأمر به رفيق فيما ينهى عنه. So we are soft in the amr that we are doing, bidding the good, and we are soft in the nahi anil munkar, forbidding the bad. So, softness in your command, not harshness in the command. Obviously, harshness, this is not in the hadith. When I'm explaining to you, the harshness becomes counterproductive for the whole purpose. So, it's softness. لو فلو كنت فظا غليظ القلب لانفضوا من حولك. If Prophet was having harsh attitude, bad akhlaq, people would have been dispersed away from him. So having harsh attitude and bad morals is not Islamic. But rifq means softly commanding somebody. The second thing Prophet says is adlun fima yanha, adlun fima ya'muru bihi, adlun fima yanha anhu. A person should be adil about what he's commanding the others to do, and he should be adil about what he's forbidding others to do. Adil stands for practicing yourself. Adil means your justice. You have justice. Justice means you're acting upon that thing on in your own personal life. This is Shartul Kamal. That means you yourself act upon, you practice what you preach. You act upon what you are asking others to do. Alimun, third thing, alimun bima ya'muru bihi, alimun bima yanha anhu. Is knowledgeable about what he's commanding others to do and knowledgeable about what he's forbidding others to do. Now, so uh, having said that, there is a misconception in the minds of some people that if I am not doing it, then why? Then it's bad to ask others to do it. Well, this is not the right thing in Islam. Even if even if I'm not doing something which I was supposed to do, I still must ask others to do. Just because I'm not doing it, yeah, it's very good that we are supposed to lima taquluna ma la taf'alun. Quran says, kabura maqtan indallah an taqulu ma la taf'alun. Right? Uh, so it's bad in the eyes of Allah that you say what you don't do. That's correct. But that doesn't justify for us to stop doing amar bil maruf and nahi anil munkar. So, for example, if somebody is, you know, he has killed someone, let's suppose, and he sees there's somebody else who's going to kill another mu'min, can he say, well, I already killed somebody myself, so why should I stop him? I also did the same thing. Well, correct, you did the same thing. That's wrong. You did it. But if you can stop another person from doing a similar crime, isn't that good? You did it. You did a wrong thing. You should do tawbah for that as well. So just because a person himself has done a wrong doesn't justify for him to say, because I am not doing it in my own personal life, I have no right to ask others to do. No. In Islam, it's wajib on us to do amr bil ma'ruf and nahi anil munkar towards others, even though we are not practicing ourselves. If we are not practicing ourselves, we are not fulfilling shartul kamal, the condition of perfection of the ruling. But the wujub will still be on our neck to do it. I want this point to be very clear to all of you. So, mm, so here, uh, now, uh, mm, so Prophet has said, "Muru bil ma'ruf wa in lam taf'aluhu." Command people about the ma'ruf, even if you don't do it, even if you didn't do it. One how anil munkar wa in lam tajtanibuhu kullahu, and stop the people from munkar, even if you didn't stop yourself from all of that. قيل يا رسول الله لا نأمر بالمعروف حتى لا يبقى منه شيء إلا عملنا به ولا ننهى عن المنكر حتى لا يبقى منه شيء إلا انتهينا عنه. We don't do Amr bil Ma'ruf and Nahy anil Munkar until we act on every single Ma'ruf ourselves and every single Munkar is left by us. We leave every single Munkar. And then we do it. Prophet said, La, no. Bal muru bil ma'aruf wa in lam ta'malu bihi kullihi. Instead, you command about the ma'ruf even if you did not act on all of it. Wanhaw anil munkar wa in lam tantahu anhu kullihi. So you do nahi anil munkar, you stop the people from the wrong even if you did not stop yourself from all of that. So this is very important to understand that the fariza is going to stay. In Akhir Zaman, it has been documented in in our hadith. يكون في آخر الزمان قوم يتبع فيهم قوم مراؤون. In the final days, there will be leaders of the community who will do riyakari, showing off. Leaders in the Muslim community will be showing off. That kind of leaders will be followed by the people. يتقرؤون. They are not reciters of Quran, but they pretend to recite Quran in front of others. وَيَتَنَسَّكُونَ. And they pretend to do good ibadat and worship in front of the people. حُدَثَاء, sufaha, silly people. لا يوجبون أمرا بمعروف ولا نهيا عن munkar. They would not consider any amr bil ma'ruf to be wajib and any nahi anil munkar to be upheld. Illa idha aminu ad-darar. Except when there is no harm coming their way. So that means these people, you know, in some of the hadiths it says actually they will be praying and fasting, but not doing the amr and nahi. ولو أضرت الصلاة بسائر ما يعملون بأموالهم وأنفسهم لتركوها كما تركوا أسمى الفرائض وأشرفها. If the prayers and fasting was hurting, harming their interests, they would have abandoned prayers as well. But because they perceive that their prayers and fasting is not going to cause any, so the people think, it's an individual worship, infiradi. That's why you find a lot of people who support Tawhut, who support the Zulm, who are sakit over the oppressions, but they, in personal life, they are doing lots of worship, prayers, fasting, tasbih, zikr, individual infiradi worship. There you find them doing all that. But when it comes to the political duties of Islam, social obligations, Islam, sakit, silent. No amr bil ma'ruf against the zalimeen, no nahi anil munkar towards the zalimeen. Individual duties, yeah, they behave like lions. They're ready to do all that because they perceive their salat is not going to hurt any interests of their dunya. وَلَوْ أَضَرَّتِ الصَّلَاةُ بِسَائِرِ مَا يَأْمُرُونَ بِأَمْوَالِهِمْ وَأَنفُسِهِمْ لَتَرَكُوهَا. If the salat, their prayers was hurting their material interests and their interests related to their life, they would have abandoned salat as well. So they are praying because they think their praise is not going to hurt their material interests in this dunya. That's why they are doing the salat. So Allah is not ready to accept their prayers and fastings until because they abandoned the ashraf al faraiz, asma al faraiz wa ashrafaha, high, highest of the duties and the most noblest of the duties is amr ibn ma'ruf and nahy anil munkar, which they abandoned. So none of the prayers are accepted, none of the fastings are accepted. So إلا إذا أمنوا الضرر يطلبون لأنفسهم الرخص والمعاذير. They keep on seeking, excuses for their behavior. When it comes to Amr bil Ma'ruf and Nahy anil Munkar, you find them always ready to furnish some excuse before Allah so they can end up avoiding Amr bil Ma'ruf and Nahy anil Munkar. But prayers and fasting, yes, they can continue doing that. This is exactly the behavior Exactly the behavior in the time of Muslim ibn Aqil in Kufa, in the time of Imam al Hussein in Kufa, in the time of Imam al Hassan in Kufa, in the time of Imam Ali alayhi salam in Kufa and Medina. Exactly the same behavior, right? So, and in Islam, it's not unfair. We were not there in in the presence of Imam Ali alayhi salam. We couldn't help him. We couldn't do. No, we are not missing out on anything. This person came to Imam Ali alayhi salam and said that my brother was not present. In the incident of Jamal, Battle of the Camel, he was not there. Later on, my brother discovered that you had to fought, you had to fight this battle of the camel, but he wished that he was there with you to help you in the battle of the camel. Imam Ali alayhi salam, when he heard that statement from this companion, he said, Ahwa akhika ma'ana, your brother wanted to be with us. That means that was, in other words, was it, did he have niyat and intention to be with us? This person replied, Naam, yes. Imam Ali alayhi salam said, that's Nahj al-Balagha, faqad shahidana. Definitely he was with us. That means in the eyes of Allah, he's going to be counted to be with Imam Ali alayhi salam. And not only him, the Imam Ali said, وَلَقَدْ شَهِدَنَا فِي عَسْكَرِنَا هَذَا أَقْوَامٌ فِي أَصْلَابِ الرِّجَالِ وَأَرْحَامِ النِّسَاءِ. Definitely all those people in the lineages of the fathers and the wombs of the mothers. So that means all those people who are going to be born till the day of judgment, all those kids who are not yet born, when they are born and they are told about the battle of the camel of Imam Ali, they make their niyat, I wish, sincere niyat. I wish I was with Imam Ali alayhi salam to support him for this against the realm. All of them will be counted to be with Imam Ali alayhi salam. So this is the benefit of making your sincere niyat in supporting. لكل شيء ثمرة وثمرة المعروف تعجيله. Everything has a fruit, and the fruit of ma'ruf is to do it fasting, fast, fast, and you know, without delay. So, استنع الخير إلى من هو أهله وإلى من ليس هو من أهله. Perform the goodness towards somebody who deserves it and towards somebody who doesn't deserve that goodness. فإن لم تصب من هو أهله فأنت أهله. If you couldn't find somebody who deserved the khair and goodness, and then he is not ahl, he doesn't deserve it, you deserve to do the goodness, right? It's not about who he is, it's about who you are. You do what you are. You deserve to do the goodness. Do it, even if that person is not deserving of receiving the khair. So, for a mu'min who is pious, even towards the enemies, he is going to do justice and goodness. So, so now, mm, doing the goodness towards the fellow mu'min brothers is similar to doing goodness towards Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wa alihi wasallam. So, أيما مؤمن أوصل إلى أخيه المؤمن معروفا فقد أوصل ذلك إلى رسول الله. Whoever mu'min performs a good deed towards his fellow brother, he has done it towards Rasulullah. So, سألت أبا عبد الله, I asked Imam Sadiq alayhi salam about this ayat of Quran and قول الله عز وجل قوا أنفسكم وأهليكم نارا. Protect yourselves and your family from the fire, from fire. وَقُودُهَا النَّاسُ وَالْحِجَارَةُ. The fire whose firewood is people and stone. So, فَقُلْتُ هَذِهِ نَفْسِي أَخِيهَا. This person said to Imam Salih Wasallam, this is my life. I am protecting myself from the fire. So, فَكَيْفَ أَقِي أَهْلِي. How do I protect my family? Imam as-Sadiq said, "Ta'muruhum bima amar Allah." Command them about what Allah commanded. That means Amr bil Ma'ruf, right? Bima amar Allah bihi. Wa tanhahum amma nahahum Allahu anhu. And you forbid them from what Allah forbade. فَإِنْ أَطَاعُوكَ كُنْتَ وَقَيْتَهُمْ. If they obey you, you have protected them. So it's the job of the father to teach the ma'ruf and munkar to the children. Age 7, we teach our children, right? This is haram, this is halal, and this is wajib to do. We teach the fara'is so they know it, and we command the children to do that in a soft way, obviously. But we command them to do. If in ata'uka, if they obey you, kunta waqaitahum, you protected your children, your family from the hellfire. Wa in asauka, if they disobey you, fakunta qadaita ma alayka. You did your job. You did what duty you had on your neck. After that, if they don't listen to, obviously they are liable. We are not liable. But the point is that you did your job. Uh, what was on your neck. So uh, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give all of us the tawfiq to understand and practice the ma'arif of Quran and Ahlul Bayt alayhi salam. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad. Ya Ya Allah, 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 Ya Allah. اللهم انصر الإسلام والمسلمين واخذل الكفار والمنافقين. اللهم انصر من نصر الدين واخذل من خذل المسلمين. اللهم انصر واحفظ وأيد علماءنا الربانيين ومراجعنا الربانيين، لا سيما الولي الفقيه قائد المسلمين. اللهم انصر جيوش المسلمين وعساكر الموحدين. اللهم فك عن الأسراء المسلمين. اللهم وفقنا لما تحب وترضى، وعجل في فرج مولانا صاحب الزمان، واجعلنا من أنصاره وأشياعه وأتباعه وأعوانه بجاه محمد وآله الطاهرين. Ayatullah Sistani, Hafidahullah, is sick in the hospital. Let's recite the Ayatul Karima 5 times for his shifa. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. أمن يجيب المضطر إذا دعاه ويكشف السوء. 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 Before we recite ziyarat, we